poor girl was dead, shot through the head by some hero fighting the rich one lonely secretary at a time.
The fashion of digital homicide. In a market consisting of innumerable competitors shooting with various levels of precision, one gem, so far ahead of its time in style, blood and bullets, over a decade and 2 generations later, still to this day, remains unmatched. Such flair, attention to detail and finesse. Did we perhaps take it for granted when Rockstar Studios achieved what it did when it took command of Max Payne and masterfully executed the 3rd entry of an already incredible series? How is it that over 10 years have gone by and nothing really comes close to Max Payne 3 as far as third-person action games of this variety are concerned? Why is it that despite its notable legacy and the reputation of Rockstar Games, Max Payne 3 is regarded by many as one of the most criminally underrated games ever? The debut of a new video series called Replay, where we look back at the titles of old, what better game to discuss than this one? Max Payne 3 holds up incredibly well visually. This does not look like a title that released on the now ancient Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 hardware. Running here on PC at its max settings at 60 frames per second, Max Payne shines through and through, and it's no surprise because the industry's most talented studio are behind its creation. To complement the robust game engine are the variety of locations that feature in the game. Nightclubs, football stadiums, bars, favelas, snowy graveyards and more. These locations either offer a stark contrast to our gloomy protagonist or are an extension of him and his dark disposition. Players are effortlessly transported and immersed into Max Payne's surroundings. Max Payne 3 has always been about style, and John Wick surely took a few notes from him. The first game pioneered the bullet time system, and with Max Payne 3, Rockstar took this to a whole new level. Everything looks cooler in slow motion, but the execution here is exceptional. The slow motion dive and shoot mechanic has such flair, and the final kill in an encounter is accompanied by a cinematic that makes you feel even more deadly. Accompanying bullet time is the gunplay, which is oh so satisfying and overshadows so many action games of today. Magnums with their weight, shotguns blasting into enemy chests, rifles peppering enemies with sound designs, drowning you into the proceedings. You can almost taste the lead ripping into your foes. As you alternate between real time and bullet time, the surroundings also join in on the violent symphony, as debris and the hemoglobin escaping your victim splash onto the screen. The ebb and flow of the combat in Max Payne is almost addictive, making you yearn for the next even more challenging encounter. A big reason why Max Payne's combat feels so good are the animations. Not many games even today have gone to the lengths that Max Payne 3 did a decade ago. Why is that? Why is it that Rockstar is one of only a handful of studios that can go through the troubles of accurately detailing enemy reactions to getting shot? The game exaggerates these, but not in a way that feels unrealistic, shooting the limbs of enemies, making them keel over as they scream in pain makes you almost feel sorry for them. But any notion of that sympathy is erased immediately by the prospect of the satisfaction that awaits from ending their suffering as you witness their bodies fall over and the weapons escape their grasp. Max also is well animated, and all those diving and rolling antics have a physicality to them. Max Payne is a lot more limber than his own monologues suggest.
So this was it. My easy retirement money. My blood-stained 401k. A chance to drink for free while chaperoning socialites around town and making sure the poor people didn't get too close. The brochure sure didn't mention any of this shit.
Max Payne is John McClane from Die Hard, if you strip away the Christmas cheer. Max's story is a very sad one. John Wick's wife died of cancer and his dog got shot. John McClane got a divorce. Max Payne came home saying, "Honey, I'm home," only to be met with the sounds of his baby daughter screaming in her cot, and then her innocence being snuffed out by a bullet while she resided in her cot. His wife's last pleas for help come to an abrupt halt, to be silenced by gunshots and the feral screams of the assailants that did the unthinkable, and all for Max to witness. Perhaps the reason why Max Payne 3 didn't get the acclaim it deserved was because a lot of fans felt that the third entry stripped away the noir feel of the original games, but there is only so much grey and gloom one can take. I think Rockstar did the right thing with Max Payne 3 by forcing him into situations where he's barely clinging on to whatever little is left of his life. The contrasting surroundings throughout the game enhance Max's existential crisis. He continues to practically beg to die by jettisoning himself into increasingly dire and impossible situations, only to fail owing to his own impeccable ability to kill others and not himself. The drink and the painkillers work far too slowly for his liking. For a one-man killing machine, Max Payne has a lot more character than one would expect, especially in video game form. And the story in Max Payne 3, by and large, was told well by making Max confront situations where humanity once again surprised even him by showing him just how low it can sink. Max is somehow given purpose to not turn the gun on himself. The ending was abrupt, but thankfully leaves room for a sequel. A decade later, though, one hasn't been forthcoming.
First day off the sauce, and somehow I'd still ended up in the gutter.
Whoa. Parece crack, mas é só insegurança. Fui nessa cabeça, o bico cansa. Expressa.
They don't make them like they used to, eh? But there is hope yet. Remedy Entertainment is developing The Fall of Max Payne, a remake of Max Payne 1 and 2 with the oversight of Rockstar Games, hopefully making room for a true sequel to Max Payne 3. If you have never played Max Payne 3, you owe it to yourself to buying it now and playing it, especially on PC to benefit from the higher frame rate. Max Payne 3 has aged like a fine wine, and for those that have a palate for the kind of style, gunplay and action that would give John Woo and Tarantino an erection, you are in for a real treat. What other titles do you think are criminally overlooked or underrated and suitable for a replay video? Do let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this little blast from the past, please like, share and subscribe. Oh, and go play Max Payne 3.